Thanks for listening to The BJ Show on Westplex Talk. The BJ Show is broadcast and streamed live Monday through Friday between 7 and 8 a.m. You can listen to replays of the show at bjshow.co or on YouTube at bjshow.video. Now it's back to Brad and John on Westplex Talk.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
One of the classic lines from the infamous first debate where Joe Biden made no sense whatsoever. Okay, I just had Shelley call me during the break. Oh, man. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, John?
I did overhear that. That sounds intriguing. That sounds like a made-for-television movie.
She's saying that somebody's trying to hack into our streaming. Let me look at this real quick. Let me look at... Go to here and go to here. And go
Is it possible that Shelley has been captivated by Russian disinformation?
I don't know. Here, I'm going to do this. There it is right there. I'm going to here. And she says that our streaming is not working right.
Russian disinformation.
It is. There it is right there. I don't know. Okay. John, I did something really stupid Saturday. You know, I'm
ready to hear it.
I'm gonna confess to you, John. I'm gonna confess to the listening public. I really try to take good care of my vehicles, and I use my vehicles. I stretch the longevity, the lifespan out of my cars. Okay? I have two vehicles I'm driving for the most part. I have one car which has 287,000 miles on it. Never been in an accident before. I have another car that has 297,000 miles on it. Never been in an accident. I backed car A into car B over the weekend. And on car A, I broke the taillight and crunched the bumper a little bit. And matter of fact, went on eBay and found the replacement taillight. On car B, I hit it so badly that I can't get the driver's door open anymore. I hit it at the fender and the fender buckled in. And I can't get the damn driver's door open anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, why did I do this? I mean, it's just to the point where, and once again, both cars never been in an accident. Now, the odds of a car traveling on its highways, on our highways for one car, 280,000 plus miles, never having been in an accident, never been in a fender bender, never having anybody back into it, no bumps or dents or anything into the body. Car B, 297,000 miles, no dents, no accidents, and like in a split second, I ruined the one car, and at this point, I'm going like, man, I don't even know what I'm going to do with the car. I can't get the damn door open because if you've ever had this happen before, if you have a fender that it gets crunched and it gets into the point where when you try to open the door won't clear the damaged fender. It just drives me crazy. And it's to the point where I feel so bad, and it's to the point where like, why did I do that? I don't park the one car. The reason is I parked the one car in a spot normally that I didn't park it in, and I got in a car like I do. I back up, bang, and I go, oh, crap. And I look back. It's just one of those things that drives me nuts.
Yeah, but hold on 1 second, Brad. Let's apply the test of if one of your friends called you with this information, if Shelley Barr called you with this, you probably wouldn't beat her up and call her an idiot. You'd probably be like, well, you parked it in a spot you usually don't. You made a mistake.
But
I feel like you're beating yourself up over it.
Well, I am, because it drives me. First off, like I need more problems in my life. I'm thinking to myself,
sure.
okay,
I get what you're saying.
What am I? And the crazy thing about it is these are both older cars. Obviously, I don't have comprehensive insurance on them to the point where any damage that happens to them, essentially I eat, unless somebody smashes into it. Then hopefully their insurance would pay to repair the damage or the car would be totaled. It's all on me. And it just, I don't make those kind of mistakes normally. I mean, Shelley used to kid me all the time. Oh, you drive 45 miles an hour. I'm a safe driver. Now, having said that, having all the accidents I've had, all 3 accidents, not my fault. The twice I got rear-ended, twice 2 cars totaled. Third time a tractor trailer hit me, not my fault, But yet, once again, I feel bad about it. It's bugged me all weekend. I mean, I did this Saturday morning. Oh, crap, here we go. What a great weekend this is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, doesn't it have to do with the fact that you've maintained the vehicle so well for so long? And it would be one thing if some drunk driver hit you and you were safe, but it'd be different if it was somebody else's mistake. But the fact that it was your mistake makes it worse.
I guess. I don't know. It just bothers me. It's just one of those things. And, it's been bothering me all weekend long. Okay. Have you heard the fight going on now between Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders?
No, I haven't heard this. I heard that a lot of people are mad at Nancy Pelosi, but I haven't heard about the Bernie Sanders angle.
Nancy Pelosi fires back at Bernie Sanders for comments on Dems' sweeping election loss. No respect. And it talks about Nancy Pelosi. And the interesting thing about this is, I have to tell you, and this is not me beating up on Kamala Harris, I heard something over the weekend that I thought to myself, I didn't know that. Okay, you saw all these star-studded campaign events where you had Beyonce and you had Oprah and you had, John Bon Jovi do a concert for Kamala. Do you know they got paid?
Beyonce got $10 million, right?
I thought to myself, hold on a minute now.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're supporting someone, if John calls me up and says, "Hey, Brad, there's a guy that is a good friend of mine, and he wants to talk to you about maybe going in the radio business or something like that." I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to say, John, I'll be more than happy to talk to that guy, or I'm going to say, John, for me to counsel him in going in the radio business is at least $100. Okay, which one of those am I going to do?
You're going to charge me $1,000.
No, the point
Now,
being,
Brad, hold on. Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt, but do we know that this is accurate? Like, is it accurate that she was paid this much money, or is this sort of, or is this just like an internet rumor?
I heard that she paid Oprah $1 million to show up. And the other interesting thing was they said in the final 72 hours before the election where they had all these concerts that's cost. And once again, I think I even heard this in NPR. They said it cost total of $20 million for the staging and the arenas and the sound systems and all that kind of stuff. And they said that the Kamala Harris campaign went through $1 billion. Now, once again, over the weekend, and I actually heard part of this on NPR, and it was interesting because I'm thinking to myself, how did that guy get on NPR? He talked about exactly what you and I have talked about, that the two parties have switched positions, that the Democratic Party has become like this elite. It's all the college professors. Look at the results of the election. If you look at the map, the maps are all, the West Coast is all blue. The East Coast, essentially the Northeast, the New England states are pretty much all blue. The rest of the country is red, okay? And it's gotten to the point where it used to be the Democrats were sort of like the Joe Biden Democrats, the lunch buy. Hey, I'm Joe Biden. We got a problem with the guy. We take him back behind the barn and we beat him up a little bit. And then he understands. What he said that about Trump. He's going to take him behind the school, the gym, and beat him up or stuff like that. And what's happened is that, to me, the working class has started to come over to the Republican side, and you can see that in the election results. I mean, who in their right mind would have said, Trump's going to get all the what they call the blue wall states? And if you saw over the weekend, they finally declared Arizona for Trump, and he got, I think the 11 electoral votes, which I believe gives him 306. Now, once again, let's go back a month. And let's say I got on the air here one morning and I said, and all along I was saying Kamala's going to win. But let's say I got on the air in the morning and wanted to say it and say, you know what, here's going to happen. This is going to be like the 2016 election where the polls, you just, after the election's over, you just throw the polls out the window because they're going to be all wrong. And Trump is going to have 300 plus electoral votes. And Kamala's going to lose. And not only is Trump going to have 300 plus electoral votes, he's going to win the regular vote total. He's going to win the standard vote total. He's going to have, because the rub has always been, like in 2016, that Hillary Clinton won the vote total, but Trump won the electoral votes. And same thing, you go back, and that's the whole situation. You go back in the 2000 election with Bush and Gore, and the 2004 election with Bush and Lurch. The whole thing. So how did this happen? How did this happen that we were so blinded by the fact that Kamala Harris had all these people, John Bon Jovi and all these elite people supporting her, and yet she lost?
Well, I think that we've had an anti-elite posture on the right for a long time. Posture is the wrong word. But I think just at a certain point, it doesn't matter if Beyonce and Oprah are on stage with Kamala if you stop buying eggs because they're too expensive. And if milk is too expensive. Like, at a certain point, you're just tired of seeing that. And Brad, by the way, I did just look up while we've been on the air. I couldn't find a Beyonce figure, but I guess Kamala's campaign paid six figures to be on the Call Her Daddy podcast. So that's been verified.
Well, no, that was the interesting thing. No, they didn't pay six figures. They built a set. That's what I heard. They built a set because normally she does the thing, I don't know, in her bedroom or something like that, to Call Her Daddy podcast. They built a set. Okay, $100,000 plus. Six figures could mean anything from $100,000 up.
That's true. It could be $100,000 to $999. You're right.
Right. But why would you do that? I don't see. The problem with this is, and I'm going to say something that's going to tick off, some people. The Republicans are just in general, the Republicans and the Democrats are guilty of the fact that when it's other people's money, OPM, they spend it very freely. And once again, it's the deal where if your car gets hit, I take my accident, for example. If your car gets hit and the insurance company says, hey, Mr. Combest, we're going to repair your car. It was our insured's fault. But you know what? We're going to only use used parts. We're not going to put in brand new fenders and bumpers and hood. We're going to go to the junkyard. We're going to buy used parts. You're going to say, no. I want new parts. But if you're paying for the repair and it's your dollar and the body shop says to you, well, John, we can repair your car for $3,500 with all new parts, but for $2,000 we can buy junkyard parts, and you know what? Your car is going to look just the same. What are you going to say? Oh, put those junkyard parts in, right?
Well,
right.
And it's the same thing as a corporate mentality. My life changed, Brad, when I started visiting airports for just personal travel rather than corporate travel. Because to be frank, if I was using my corporate credit card, I'm happy to get the guacamole on my tacos. You know what I'm saying, Brad?
I hear you exactly.
But if it's coming out of the cash that I just scrape my nickels and dimes and turn the couch over, I'm probably not going to get guacamole on my entree.
Well, it's the example of you give all the time. You've heard people say, well, I'm on the company expense account, so I'll just go to a steak restaurant.
That's right.
Instead of, and to me it's like, well, I'm on the Brad expense account, which means let me find the latest McDonald's where I can buy the $5 value meal. You know what I'm saying?
It's the beauty of other people's money, of OPM, Brad, as you accurately labeled it. We talked about this on the election night special with Scott Fawn. Lucas Kunce had what is a lot of people's dream job, Brad. And I gave a shout out to one of the things that you and I have talked about, which is Lucas Kunce was able to travel around the state of Missouri and make fun of Josh Hawley. Who doesn't want to make fun of Josh Hawley spending other people's money? Not only that, but Lucas Kunce got to shoot a reporter, which a lot of people have fantasized about doing. But imagine, Brad, if someone just paid you to travel around the state making fun of Josh Hawley's clothes. Like you and Shelley could just do a stand-up act about pirate shoes and skinny jeans.
Here we go again. I mean, see, what's gotten out of control is the amount of money. I mean, figure, and how many days was it was it what I heard the number of 110 days from the day one where Biden tapped her to be his replacement to run for president to the day where the election was 110 days. In 110 days, she spent $1 billion.
I think it's pretty great.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, the politics has gotten out of control. I mean, we say this all the time, and I get it. There's so much money, and people would say, well, look at what Elon Musk did. Look at what Elon Musk did. He was giving away. And by the way, do you remember that? Do you know that crazy story that he was giving away?
What happened with that?
Well, $1 million a day, and the deal was that all you had to do was say that you signed a pledge that you were in favor of the First and Second Amendment or something like that. And the Attorney General from Virginia went after him, and essentially it got decided in the courts that he wasn't actually getting people to vote. He wasn't paying people for their vote. He wasn't even paying them to get registered. He was just paying them to essentially say, hey, I believe in these things, and they got rewarded randomly with $1 million. So essentially, he paid all those people off. He paid them everybody $1 million. And by the way, did you hear? You're sort of the stock market dude. Did you hear the news that the day after the election that Tesla officially crossed the $1 trillion capitalization mark in the stock market? Did you hear that?
I believe that. Actually, I didn't hear that figure, but I mean, when you look at the market ripping, one of the topics we should cover next week is how there's a lot of thoughts on Trump dramatically improving the economy. The 30-second summary of my opinion, Brad, is that we're going to see a significant stock market decline because the government when you think about the Fed and others, like our friend Camelia Peterson, she's a huge fan of the Fed. She has her license plate actually says Fund Fed because she's such a big fan of the Fed. But the Fed's going to have to start producing more realistic economic numbers, Brad. They have been propping up things like the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and others to save Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Trump's going to get in and really look under the hood. His guys are going to look under the hood, and they're going to be like, whoa, the economy is not in as good a shape. Inflation is worse than reported, and the market is going to react to that, Brad.
Well, it's like the thing that came out with the FBI numbers. They say, oh, crime's down, and then like a month later, oh, well, crime's not down, crime's up because, we didn't tabulate the numbers right. You're going like, okay, was that a mistake or was that a conscious mistake, if you know what I'm saying? Did somebody, oh, my God, we didn't carry the 2, and, something like that. Or, oh, we left out. I mean, I had a dealing with a federal government agency where I was sent a spreadsheet of money that I owed, and I paid that amount of money. And then they came back and said, you owe us $2,000 more. I go, how? Well, we made a mistake on the spreadsheet. Not my problem, your problem. Well, it didn't turn out it turned out it was my problem because they essentially said, we're the government and we can do whatever the hell we want. You know what I'm saying?
We will never have accurate crime stats until we accurately capture the number of 89-year-old men backing into their own cars. To me, that's a crime.
Rub it in, John. Rub it in. Okay. By the way, we didn't say one word about it today. Today's a holiday. Salute your veterans. People get confused with Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day is for the people who did not make it back, who died in the line of duty. Veterans Day are for the living veterans who we salute, and we can't have the departed veterans. My father, World War II veteran, served 4 years active duty, 36 years in reserve, retired at 62 as a captain. Salute to all our veterans out there. And if you know someone who's a veteran, thank them for their service today. John, tomorrow?
We'll be here. And he mentioned my father as well, a Navy veteran, served in the Korean War. And I will be servicing Tulsi Gabbard a little bit later. I will be honoring Tulsi Gabbard a little bit later, Brad.
That's my line, dude. What are you talking about? Tulsi Gabbard.
I'm encroaching on your territory.
Oh, yeah.
How about you approach from the front, and I'll be more of the rear admiral?
No. There's a talk show host that calls Pete Buttigieg the rear admiral. Do you know that?
I did not know that. Wow. And that's what they call something just deflated over here in Chesterfield, Brad. But Brad, it was great to talk to you today. Happy Veterans Day.
Thanks for checking out the Brad and John Show podcast. This segment of the show is brought to you by John Combest's book, Stalking, Harassment, Internet Trolling, A Guide to Recovering and Rebuilding After Online Attacks. It's a great reference if you've ever been the unfortunate target of a social media attack. It's available on Amazon. Just search John Combest. That's Combest, John Combest, and the book will show up in your search results. Now it's time for another segment of the Brad and John Show. Can you handle it?